Hello, in today's video we will look at how we can use templates directly from the template catalog, how to split your Terraform code into multiple files, and how to design your own CI/CD workflow on Brainboard. So let's get started. To go to templates, you simply need to go here, and then we have created templates for Azure, AWS, OCI, GCP, and Scaleway. You can also convert all your cloud infrastructures into reusable templates for your team to use across multiple environments. For today's session, we will use Azure. And here we will look at Kubernetes. So it's this one. To use it is very easy. You simply need to clone the template into a new architecture. And here, as you can see, you have the design and the Terraform code that has been automatically generated from the design. Here you have the documentation to tell you what is it for, how to use, for example, the Kubernetes provider with AKS and MariaDB, what are the architecture components, the requirements, and how to use this architecture. If you want to use variables and locals, you can go to input, and here you can define your variables either at the organization level, project, or environment. You can also define them at the architecture level, and then you can also create locals here. So now we go back to the design, and as you can see, we have different resources here. And we are going to split these resources into multiple files. So for example, here we are going to choose the gateway subnet. So here we simply need to select these resources. And here we are going to group them into the first file. So it's going to be gateway subnet. Then here, we are going to do the same thing with database subnet. We are going to select these resources. And here, we are going to create database subnet. And here, we are going to do the same thing with the Kubernetes subnet. So we are going to select all of these resources. And here, we create another file. So it's going to be Kubernetes subnet. You can find all the files that you have created here. So for example, database subnet here with all the resources. Here, gateway subnet, and then Kubernetes subnet as well. So now, for example, we're going to look at specific resources. For example, this one, the Kubernetes deployment. This one is particularly interesting because actually it's a Terraform resource, so a custom resource. Here, for example, we open the ID card. We look at, for example, here, either if it's a resource or a data. Then we have the type of the new resource, the resource name, and here we have the Terraform code for this specific resource as well. So now that we have done that, we can actually go to the deployment, and here we are going to create a new workflow. So here we are going to specify the name is going to be Kubernetes provider with AKS. Then here we are going to add a task. It's going to be a Terraform plan. You can also use Terraform plan, apply, destroy, or validate. Here we will give it a name. So Terraform plan. Then here we are going to add infra cost. Here cost estimation. Here we are going to use the API key that we have here. So simply need to use the API key. Here we can use either breakdown or diff, we will use breakdown. Then we add, for example, an email to notify our team. So here, notify dev SecOps. For example, here we say we add our email address, so it's this one. And here we add the name. The infrastructure is ready to be deployed. And here we can say, for example, can you please check the security requirements for it? So here they will receive this email. Here, for example, we want to notify our team, another team, for example, on Slack. You can say notify cloud FinOps, and here we say the infrastructure is ready to be deployed. And here we say the cost estimation with infra cost has been validated. Here we're going to add a URL. So here we have this one. And here we can save the workflow. Then now we can run the pipeline. The first action that actually BrainBoard will do will be to run the Terraform plan. And we will have the output just here. And as you can see, we have the output here, and the Terraform code is actually valid. Now, the cost estimation is running here. And then you can see that the Slack task and the email are scheduled. Here, what is interesting is that we have the name of the resources. We have the monthly quantity unit here and the monthly cost with the breakdown. And here we have the overall total costs. For example, it's this number. And here we have 10 cloud resources were detected, 4 were estimated, 5 were free, 1 is not supported yet. Here, our team has received the Slack notification and the other team has received the email. Here, for example, now we go pipeline, we close it, we see the status, the ID, the pipeline, who is the initiator, the date, and here, for example, we can actually create a template, Kubernetes provider with AKS. We can add a description. So here, for example, we can add infracost and Slack. So here we add, for example, Terraform plan, infracost and Slack and email. And then we clone the workflow. Here, if it already exists, then you just need to change the name. So here will be Kubernetes provider, just this one. And here we can clone it. So it's good. And here you can find all the templates that you can reuse to build your CI/CD workflow on BrainBoard. I hope this video has been useful for you. And if you have any questions on how to build your use case on BrainBoard, I will be happy to help you doing so. Have a great day.